Hi, this is Jacqueline. I'm back with my next video. I know it's been a really long time and I keep thinking that I'm not going to go this long between videos, and that always seems to end up happening. And part of it is that I don't have any major updates, and part of it is that I get really busy, and a part of me does want to put long COVID behind me, but I also do want to share things that I've learned and some of my experiences. So I'm going to go back to where we left off, which I believe was around August, and that is when my husband had got COVID, and by the grace of God, I actually didn't get COVID that time. But some things that I did want to look at when I was looking at my overall immune system, my overall ability to fight off future viruses, I ended up getting a stool sample done through my naturopath doctor, and it did come back that I did have some inflammation in my gut. It is a really extensive test that I would recommend for anybody that just maybe feel like there's just that missing piece, or you haven't really assessed your gut yet, to get a stool sample done, and you can look for inflammation, infection, parasites, all kinds of things, whether or not you have enough enzymes. I was lacking in a few enzymes. I had some inflammation, so I went on a strict protocol of prebiotics, probiotics, some powders, some tinctures, and I went on things that were directly related to my test results. And I definitely think that that has been helpful for me in just my overall health. As I had mentioned before, I've overall been getting better. I've been doing well, but there are still some missing pieces here. And we know that COVID really can affect us systemically. So I really want to look at everything. Even though I was feeling better, what can I do now to fight future viruses? So another thing that I did go on is alpha thymosin 1. It is a peptide. And if you've watched my previous videos, then you know that I did do that peptide before. And at the time when I did it before, I couldn't really say that I noticed anything remarkable, but I really feel like this time it has overall helped me be much just healthier. Just my overall health, I feel like, has been better. My overall wellness and my overall ability to not get infections, which I'm going to get into that in just a minute here. But I've been very fortunate. I have found two really great doctors here in the Vegas area, which was a concern of mine when moving here, was that I really wasn't going to have anyone that was knowledgeable. And I've been able to meet some really great people. So doing the stool sample and getting on the peptide, I think, are both things that have helped my overall health. But as life would have it, in November, my little boy started to not feel well, but it mainly started out just the sniffling, sneezing, congestion. And as you guys know, it's so hard to differentiate symptoms. I wish COVID had a more just like clear symptom, because my little boy never had a fever or anything. I tested him, he tested negative. I don't know, I assumed maybe it was a cold. We waited a few more days. He seemed that he was getting worse. He started coughing. So then I tested him again, and he tested positive. And I mean, I had been around him. I really didn't take the preventative measures that I usually take, because he did test negative and it seemed like a cold. So I had been completely exposed to him. He's in my face, doing homework, eating dinner together, in my car, the whole shebang. So I felt like I was probably going to get it. I mean, at that point, I was just like, okay, what do I need to do right now to prevent this from getting worse or to prevent long COVID? So a couple of things I did immediately. Well, was first of all, I did a rapid test. The rapid test was negative. Not a big surprise there. I really hadn't had any symptoms yet. But I ended up calling my doctor. I wanted to go in for a PCR, because if I did test positive, I did want to do 10 days of Paxlovid. That is something that I do believe helped me with my December 2022 infection. That helped me completely recover, was doing that 10 days of Paxlovid during an acute infection. I went in, I got the PCR test. It took 2 days for the PCR test to come back. So what I did in the meantime was I went into preservation mode. I went in, I got ozone therapy, I got a Myers cocktail vitamin push, I fasted. I did intermittent fasting. I think it's important to still eat mainly protein, avoid sugar, avoid anything that will cause inflammation. I eat within a tiny window frame, maybe between 12 and 6, fasting and saunaing. And I also took ivermectin. I went on for ivermectin for a week. So those are the things I'm going to do right away. In case my test comes back positive. For 3 days, I will admit that I started to feel like I was probably going down. I had a headache, I had a sore throat, and I felt pretty tired. So I assumed I'm gonna have this regardless of what the test comes back. You know, the tests are the tests, but but my test ended up coming back negative. And after about 4 days, I felt okay. So I don't know. It's hard to believe that I didn't have it, maybe a low level of it, and I just didn't get really sick because I did all of those measures that I just said. I don't know. I don't want to say I didn't have it, but my PCR, my rapids came back negative, and by day 4, I felt perfectly fine, and by day 5, I was back to my regular routine. Some of that I do believe was being on the peptide. I do feel like the alpha thymosin 1, and that is something I did do, was I increased my dosage of the peptide for 3 days while I was having symptoms. So my doctor said that I could do that, my regular dosage that they have me on. He said if you start to feel symptomatic, up the dosage, because I usually do it twice a week. So I did it for 3 days in a row. And I managed to escape that. And again, I don't know. You guys know, this is all so confusing. And then in December, everyone else in my family decided to get sick with all kinds of random things, fevers, headaches. Then my son got strep throat. And I actually managed to dodge all of it. I was around a couple relatives over the holidays that were sick and coughing, and I managed not to get anything. Again, I don't know exactly what the reason is, but I feel like the peptide has helped modulate my immune system and has helped me from getting sick. I also think the gut protocol has helped. And in December, when I was around a bunch of sick people, I also went in and did ozone and vitamins. So those seem to be the things that work for me. And if I have any exposure whatsoever, those are the things I would automatically do right away. I also do a nasal spray, which I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos on that. There's all kinds of different nasal sprays that they say helps reduce the viral load in the nose. There's a video from RTHM, is it Rhythm, by Dr. Stuart Malcolm. I think I posted the video before, but they have a video on using nasal sprays to help with just exposure if you're around people, reducing the viral load. Also doing saline rinses. So I will come home if I'm out around a lot of people, if I'm around anyone that's sick, I will do a sinus rinse with saline and the Benadine. I also do the nasal sprays and mouthwash whenever I'm around people, and you can also gargle the saline, just basically salt water. I don't know. I've been doing that for the last couple months, and it's hard to know what is causing what. But I definitely think, number one, the peptide has helped, and I think using the nasal sprays is beneficial as well. So those are things that I have done to try to stay healthy during this season. I also take precautions like washing my hands incessantly. I still mask in crowded places or around a lot of people, even though I know people comment on my videos that masks don't work. And if you don't think they work, then you shouldn't wear one. But I feel like they've helped me from getting sick, and I wear one when I feel that I am in those situations that it will protect me. So going forward, I will continue to take precautions, and I will continue to do the measures that I mentioned to you. And I personally would do a 10-day course of Paxlovid if for reinfection. That's something that I just believed helped me in the past, but I know that everyone is different and reacts to things differently. So that is my update. I also feel bad. I know I did not give an updated video of John, my friend that did plasmapheresis. I don't want to speak for him, so I will let him tell his story, but shortly thereafter, he did end up contracting COVID again, and I think things were a little muddied on what was the benefits of the treatment versus having another infection. But he is doing plasmapheresis again. He was approved to do it monthly through his insurance. So with the holidays, we've been very busy, and I haven't got to connect with him, but I do want him to come on and talk about his experiences, and maybe, as he has more treatments and is healthy and not, re-exposed to COVID, he'll have a better idea of the benefits that he's getting from the treatment, because after you get COVID again, sometimes it's all muddied and it's hard to tell. In 2024, I'm wishing you all good health. I don't know really what the future looks like for me. I did do stem cell therapy again in 2023. I don't know. I'm hoping that I won't have to do it this year, but it is still a therapy that I believe in, and I do believe has contributed heavily to my recovery, along with monoclonal antibodies, which was way back in 2021. I do believe that those helped me. I hope they come out with new ones. There is a trial going on in California for monoclonals with people with long COVID. I believe that that trial is going on right now. So hopefully new maps will come out. But I still believe monoclonal antibodies and the 10 days of Paxlovid, fasting, saunaing, ozone, vitamins, all of those things are things I will continue to do if I have exposures. And I also have told you a million times I will do a video on Bioadvanced Medical, just to kind of go through what it's like to go to the clinic and get stem cells. So I am going to do that actually right now. So no excuses. But again, wishing you guys all a happy new year and good health, and crossing our fingers for a better, healthier year.
Please like and subscribe. Hope everyone has an amazing day.